What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about how you can be a five-star wide receiver. So we're going to be talking about the height and weight needed to play wide receiver at the Division I level, some of the attributes that college coaches are looking for specifically in wide receivers when they're recruiting one. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Let's get started. Now, before we get into this video, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches this offseason, we're going to be traveling out to 15 different cities across the country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camps. So check out that very first link in the description below. If you'd like to train with us, fellas, we're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California. That camp is completely sold out, but then we'll be heading out to Miami, Florida. That camp as well has got 3 more spots left, so it is almost completely full. Then we'll be coming out to Las Vegas, Nevada, Charlotte, North Carolina, Portland, Oregon, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Chicago, Illinois, Buffalo, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, Texas, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan, Boise, Idaho, and Los Angeles, California. So we're coming all across the country, fellas, and we would love to have you out to one of our off-season camps. So again, check out that very first link in the description below if you're interested, fellas. Let's get started. Now, as this video progresses, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things that college coaches are looking for in wide receivers to play at the Division I level. And the first thing that I want to get across to you guys, before we get into the height and the weight that college coaches are specifically looking for, I want to tell you that stars don't matter. If you're sitting there and you're worried about, star rankings, how can I get ranked? How come I don't have any stars? And you're setting out to get stars, your mindset's in the wrong place. Your mindset needs to be, how can I get one coach? And if your goal is to play Power 5 college football, great. Who am I to tell you what your goals should and should not be? But if that's your goal, that's what you should be focused on, is how can I get one coach to believe in me? Because that's honestly all you need, is one coach to see what you can do, believe in what you can do, and that's what's going to get you to that next level. Now, first things first, this is what I think a lot of wide receivers should heavily focus on in order to get recruited, is their speed. Now, a lot of people, when I say speed, they automatically associate speed with 40-yard dash. I got to run a 4.4. I got to run a 4.3, a 4.5. Guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's great if you run a 4.4 or 4.3 at a college camp in front of a bunch of scouts. But if a bunch of college scouts don't actually see you run the 40, they could care less what your 40 time is. If you put your 40 time in your Twitter bio and say you run a 4.4, college coaches look at that and they say, yeah, prove it. I never saw it, so it's not a 4.4. What they care about is actual game speed. So your speed absolutely matters, but I would focus less on the exact 40 time, and I would focus more on just getting your overall speed, explosiveness, and honestly just quickness up to showcase on film. Because you guys got to understand, your huddle highlight tape, or just a highlight tape in general, is what gets you recruited, right? College coaches watch a ton of film, and they're impressed by the first 5 plays. That is all you have to make a first impression. If your first 5 plays are a Division I college level highlight tape play, you're going to impress a bunch of college coaches, and they're going to be intrigued in you. Maybe they'll want to see more of you. Maybe they'll want to see more film. Maybe they'll watch the entire tape, whatever it is. But those first 5 plays, one of them at least has to showcase that you have speed, explosion, and quickness. Because you guys got to understand, at the next level, you're going to be matched up against some of the top tier athletes in the country. DBs are traditionally a little bit faster and quicker than wide receivers because they play the game backwards. They have such a tough job. They're trying to guard us. So you need to have some speed and bring some speed to the table. Do you need to be Tyreek Hill? No. But I suggest that you heavily work on your speed in the offseason. Now, what are some things that you can do to work on your speed? And that's what we're going to talk about next. Now, there are 3 things that I think a wide receiver can do to work on their speed. Number 1, work on your speed in the gym by doing explosive movements that activate your fast twitch muscle fibers. So what do I mean by that? I mean doing the exercises like box jumps, power cleans, single arm dumbbell snatch, anything that's explosive that activates something in your body called fast twitch muscle fibers. When you're trying to exert all out effort, anywhere in a 3 to, I would say, 6 rep range of you trying to go as hard as you possibly can is how you can translate those lifts to on-field play. A lot of guys are worried about when they're trying to gain weight, am I going to lose speed? Not if you incorporate those lifts into your gym routine. So that's what I recommend first. Second, I recommend getting a running coach. Now, that could be running track at your school. The fact of the matter is that a lot of high school track programs are underfunded. They don't have a lot of money to go out and pay a guy who, used to be an ex-Olympian or ran track in college. So it's just a volunteer. And the volunteer is not going to help you with your running mechanics, giving you specific exercises, helping your form. So I recommend investing the money. If you don't have a good track program at your school, invest the money into a speed coach, because he's going to help you with your form, your explosiveness, your stride, your hip mobility. All those things translate to on-field speed. And then last but not least, I recommend doing resistance training, running with bands, running with a sled, running uphill. All those things can help you get faster as a wide receiver to show out on tape. Now, we're going to get into the height and weight element of this in a second, but there are two specific things that I want to talk about first before we get into that. Number one is going to be route running. So if you guys can showcase that you can run routes and separate as a wide receiver, that is so beneficial in today's game to a Division I college level coach. Guys, what are all the offenses in college switching to? Air raid system, spread offense. So you got a lot more one-on-one opportunities as a receiver. That's a gift, guys. When we come up to the line of scrimmage as an offense and we got 5 wide receivers out wide, number one, if you got an offense that runs 5 wide receivers, that's 5 opportunities to get on the field. So route running, being able to run routes is a great way to separate yourself from the other receivers that you are competing with, right? A lot of guys get to that next level and they just have speed. They don't have speed and route running. If you can have those two attributes, trust me, it will intrigue a college coach. Now, by route running, I mean your ability to get into breaks fast, get out of breaks fast, change direction on a dime. Because in that air raid system, you're constantly faced with one-on-one opportunities. Mano-a-mano, you're going up against a DB, a safety, a linebacker in man coverage. Can you separate in man coverage? Going to college camps, showcasing that you do well in one-on-ones. That's a great way to stand out, and also obviously on your film. So running great routes and speed are the first 2 keys to being that Division I Power 5 wide receiver. Now, the next thing that I think is completely underrated in the recruiting process, and not enough people talk about this, is the fact that you need to be an athlete. I know, and like I said, I read every single comment that you guys leave on these long-form YouTube videos because I truly, truly appreciate the people who tune in, and I want to make videos that you guys want to see. So every time that you guys ask a question, I want to try to answer it to the best I possibly can, right? Because without you guys, there is no me, there is no brand. So I want to help you guys out the best I can. And I get question after question about wide receivers, because I'll say, hey, you're in an air raid system, you got to win in one-on-one. They'll say, well, coach, I'm in an offense right now in high school that's a wing T. I'm in an offense that doesn't throw me the ball. My quarterback doesn't give me the ball. How can I get recruited if I'm a receiver and I don't have that? Get on the field any way you can. Guys, receivers are athletes. College coaches are going to know that you're a true receiver. So what I recommend, play special teams, return kicks, return punts, be on kickoff, be on punt, go down the field, make a tackle, play defense if you need to, play in at running back if you need to. Number 1 recruit in his class, Ryan Williams out of Alabama. He's committed to Alabama. That dude will play running back. That dude will play wildcat quarterback. He'll return punts. He'll be on defense, and he'll play receiver. And he's probably getting recruited to play receiver, but he's an athlete. So guys, be an athlete. I cannot tell you how beneficial that is, because college coaches want playmakers. That's it. They want the best playmakers on their team, especially at that Power 5 level. They're going to mold you into whatever position they want. And like I said, the more plays that you have on film that are explosive, that showcase yards after catch, that you're an athlete, you can make big plays, that's what impresses a college coach, and that's what I suggest. All right, so let's talk about height and weight. So let's talk about weight first. Weight is an easy one. Honestly, they don't care about the exact number that you weigh. Travis Hunter, dude was probably 165 pounds going into college. Their mindset is he's a great football player. He's a hell of an athlete. He makes the best plays that we possibly have seen on film. So guess what? When he gets to our program, we're going to put weight on him. We want the football player Travis Hunter, not the freaking bodybuilder or the power lifter Travis Hunter, where it's like, oh, well, you're 165. Well, if you were 175, we might offer you, but you're only 165. Guys, they don't care. They want athletes. When you get to college, anybody that has ever played college football will tell you that when you get to college football, it is one of the hardest lifting programs and eating programs, if you're that guy that needs to gain weight, that you will ever do in your entire life. I remember the culture shock that I got when I went into college. You know what? I needed to gain weight. I was in like Travis Hunter's situation. I was like 165 pounds. I would lie and say I was 180 to all these college recruiters, but they knew I was 165. They wanted me as a player. They didn't care how much I weighed, right? When I got to college, they freaking, dude, it sucked, man. Like, it was like, bro, I had to eat like 2 meals per, so let's say for breakfast, you would eat 4 eggs, some potatoes, like a serving of potatoes and banana. I would eat 8 eggs, 2 servings of potatoes, and 2 bananas. They would double everything that I would take in. Was that healthy? I don't know, but it put weight on me, I'll tell you that. And that made me a stronger player, made me a better player, obviously, and they will put weight on you when you get there. So you don't need to worry about your weight as much as you think. All right, so now let's talk about height. I would be lying to you guys and doing you a disservice if I said that height didn't matter at all, because everybody talks about that quote-unquote eye test, right? The eye test, does he pass the eye test? Is he an eye test guy? Whatever the case may be. And so I would say if you're a slot receiver, if you're in that 5'8" to 5'11" range, I think you're fine, right? Now, again, 5'8", you probably got to have a lot of speed. Probably got to have some quickness. You probably got to have a little bit of weight on you. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a twig and be 5'8". You're just not that explosive. They're not confident that you can take those hits at that size. So there's that gray area, right? Now listen, if you're above 5'11", like 6 foot plus, I think you're good, right? 6 foot to 6'1", you probably could play slot or outside, I would say, but 6'2" and above, you're an outside receiver, and I think you're totally fine. So if you're in that height range, I think below 5'8", like I said, who am I to tell you that you can't play at the next level? I'm not in that position, and I will never be in that position to tell guys you're too small, you're too this, you're too that, because there's always exceptions to the rule. You just got to understand that if you're below that 5'8" height requirement, not even a requirement, but if you're below that, you got to work so much harder than everybody else, and that's a good thing. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to get a lot better, and you got to do the details. You got to do the details better than the bigger 6'4" guy, because that's just part of the game. That's who you got to be. So if you're below that height standard, I guess you could say, you just got to do a little bit more. You got to do a lot more, actually. But playing at the next level is hard, fellas, and anything that's worth it is going to be hard. Just make sure you understand that when it comes to height. All right, guys, really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. Always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you would like to train with us in 15 different cities this off-season, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our off-season training camps, all the way from like Charlotte, North Carolina, San Francisco, Philly. We're going all over the place, you guys, and we would love to have you there. So again, very first link in that description below. I'll see you guys next time.